So how to change the brake pads on a Porsche GT3 991, 911, or whatever the numbers is. This is a car from 2013. So the first thing you will do is you will pump your hood up. You will loosen this cap because fluid have to go back. This cap you can take off. Down there you will find your wheel tool. Now let me show you how that looks. And this is a Porsche with ceramic brakes. Now the tool looks like this. One moment. Sorry. The tool looks like that. Stays down there in that box. And there's also a little thing here. You know, that one I don't like so much. I use a screwdriver. Anyways, the wheel bolts, they look like this with a cap on them. There's a little groove here where this tool is supposed to go in to take off the cap. I don't like this tool. It messes up the caps, you know. Better is you take a small screwdriver and then put it all the way in and then pry it one time. It will come off. Once that is done, you will push this tool over the hub and all the way in so it clicks, because it will push in this mechanism here, and that needs to go in so that you can loosen the nut. Now, to loosen the nuts, I would say either you get a big breaker bar or you use your torque wrench. Now these wheel bolts needs to go on with 600 Newton meters. Yes, you heard it right, 600 Newton meters. So the key you need is a big fucker like that. This is anywhere from 300-400 to probably 1,000-1,200 euros, you know, depending on where you live and so on and so on. So it's not cheap, but it will save you money in the long run when you do your own service. Not service, but at least, you know, brake pads and tires and stuff like that. So this is the first step. I've taken off all the wheels. The next step I do is, normally I have these small brushes, but I don't have any more of them, so I'm just using a small screwdriver. All these holes here are completely filled with dirt and grime from the brake pads. You know, take the screwdriver, put it in, turning, and put it all the way through, you know, so you get to the back hole also, you know, like that. Just do it on every single hole. Get all this shit loose and get it out like that, right? And you can see how much comes out, you know. That's just a little bit. It's crazy. So do that on the whole disc. Turn the disc and do all the holes. Then maybe suck it with a vacuum cleaner a little bit, or blow it with your air gun or whatever to get it really good and clean. The next step is then to remove the caliper. Yeah, how do you do that? The caliper is removed by taking these two bolts off. Then you can slide the caliper backwards and hang it in here while you work on getting the pads off. I'll make another video a little bit later in this process to show you how that looks if possible. So the next part of putting new brake pads on this Porsche is, of course, buying all the spare parts you need. This is the brake calipers front. You can see the numbers. This is the the electric things that get worn down when your pads are past their life. You know, they will tell you in the car that you need to change your brake pads. They look like that. You need 2 of those. Then you will need the caliper spacers, or whatever you want to call these things. These things keep the calipers away from the brakes when you don't use them, and make sure that they don't rattle and stuff. You will also need 2 of them. This is for the front. Then you will need the 4 screws. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Then there, 2 for each caliper. That means that when you change, I'll show you. when you take out the caliper screws, that's the back right now, that doesn't matter, but when you take off these screws here, you can't use them again. Porsche want you to put new ones, so you better do that, so you don't have a fuck up at 300 kilometers an hour, your brakes fly off. That would be really bad. So anyway, the same goes for the rear. You need two contacts. Here's the numbers. That's for these electric contacts. I don't even know what the English name is. You will also need the spacers. They have this number here. You need 2 of those, and then you will also need 4 bolts. This is this ones, and of course your brake pads. That looks like that. So that's the material you need. So let me show you a little bit more. So what you want to do is you want to loosen these 2 bolts. To do that, you will need what is this? Can you see? T55, so torque, and that's for the rear. Then they can come off. You will need to take off this contact first. It sits up here, and the way you take it off is that this little clip here, you lift that makes the contact go, sorry, this little clip here, you lift it with a screwdriver, then you can pull out the contact. Once it's pulled out, I don't know if you can see, the other part up here, you can turn that and then take that away also. Then you have everything free. Now, you leave the iron hose and this stuff, you leave that on. So be prepared once you take the caliper off, be prepared either to have it zip tied to something that doesn't fall down, or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the car down, and then I'm gonna have a table right here so that I can rest the caliper on a table. So I have some support when I have to take the brake pads out. So once I take the caliper off, you can then take the pads off from inside. I will make another video in a little bit to show you how that looks. Yeah, that's it. Once you get the caliper off, as I said before, it's a good idea to have something that you can kind of sit it on so it doesn't fall down. This thing sits in here. You push in the pistons. They push in really easy. Just remember to check your reservoir in the front of the car. It will definitely be filled up. You have to suck out some of the fluid before you press them all the way in on all 4 corners, else you're gonna spill fluid all over the place. So anyways, this one here, it comes right off like that. What more? Before that, these pads, they sit like this, and the clip is standing behind. So you take the pads off, just out from here, it's easy. Boom. And then the clip comes off. And the sensor, I don't, it annoys me that I don't know the name for the sensor, but anyways, these warning sensors, what fuck the name is, that they sit here. You can see there's a piece of it left there. They sit here. I mean, you just rip the cord off or cut it or whatever you want. You cannot use them again. So that's how it looks. And now just put everything back. I would recommend you this new part. One moment. Let's take this out. This new part here, these kind of crows here that have to go around. They have to go around this piece, it sits down there, it's really hard to get it in there because they are so tight. I would recommend you to bend these ones just a little bit, you can see the difference. How much more open this old one is. This one is so small, you can't really put it on. So take it somewhere and just bend them back a little bit so that you can actually push them over must still be a tight fit, but you know, it doesn't have to be that crazy. I don't know what Porsche recommends. Me personally, as my pads are going to be sliding on this here and here and here, I'm going to give this copper grease. Maybe you can't do that when it's carbon fiber. I have no idea, but I'm going to do it, you know, just to make it slide nice and stuff. So yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, I put the new piece in, then I put the new brake pads in. Then you can turn around the caliper, and then you can put these one sensors or whatever they're called. You can push them in from the backside. That's more easy, but you have to be real careful. They break really easy. So yeah, I just say they break really easy. This part here, you know, it slides. Let me take one off. See if I can show you. One moment. So, oh yeah. So, yeah, they look like this. You know, I mean, it's real easy to break this small fin on the back, and when you break those, it doesn't fit really good after that. I mean, so just be careful when you put them on that they don't break. And of course, you have a thin side and a thick side. The thick side will face where you have the compound, not the iron side, right? Where you have the compound, that's where the thick side goes. So just so you don't fuck that up. That's about it. That was the rear. It's pretty much the same at the front. It just looks a little bit different, but I really don't want to make a video to show you all of that. It's pretty much the same, you know. Bolts go out, caliper comes off. You know, it's pretty much the same. So what more could I tell you? Yeah, okay, the bolts, the new bolts that goes in the holes, front and rear. My information, which I got from Porsche directly, says 85 Newton meter. 85 Newton meters. On the paper, that's from, this paper is from Brembo. They say it's around 100. Where is it here? Around 100 Newton meter. They say you can follow these guidelines, but they say do follow manufacturer specification. So when Porsche says 85, I'm gonna put it on with 85. So that's about it. I think that's gonna be my last video. Now you know, you have some idea what it takes to put on new brake pads. It's definitely gonna take you some hours. Even with a lift, it's takes some time to get it all on and off and stuff like that, and it will cost you about 1,350 euro in parts. Now, when you let Porsche do it, I would expect it would be somewhere around 1,900, maybe 2,000 euros. So that's what you can save if you do it yourself. But you must have the right equipment and the time and the skills to do it. So have fun, guys, and see you out there on the racetracks.